okay? Okay. Start in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley. Join us for an hour of music and conversation from Shawbucks in Jamestown, New York. Tonight's guests are Jill Jack and Martin Swinger. Now please welcome our host, Ken Hardley.
He was leaving, it was hard to say goodbye. There wasn't no feeling, it's not every day you die. It took a while, but not that long. But his best girl, she stayed pretty strong. He was leaving, it was hard to say goodbye. He went across the ocean and fought in a war, but was never quite sure what that war was for. He saw bad stuff, some friends lost their lives, so he came back home and got a couple wives. Didn't come home too much, he owned a couple of bars, but it was better than the job he had fixing cars. He had some friends like a guy named Chet, who would haul some of your stuff for a cigarette. He was leaving, it was hard to say goodbye. People were grieving, he was their kind of guy. It took a while, but not that long. But his best girl, she stayed pretty strong. He was leaving, and it was hard to say goodbye. Drank some beers and sat in a lawn chair. He had a cabin in the woods, raccoons got him there. Kids all around, he knew most of their names. Pain in his leg veins, he watched them play their games. Now at the end he looked back and said, I think I did some dumb things, never really got ahead. But there seems to be one thing that I did quite right. I got this little woman here to say goodnight. He was leaving and it was hard to say goodbye. People were grieving and some of them started to cry. It took a while, but not that long. But his best girl, she stayed pretty strong. He was leaving, it was hard to say goodbye. People were grieving, he was their kind of guy. People were grieving and some of them started to cry. He was leaving and his best girl said goodbye.
Rolling Hills Radio is funded in part by the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization REAP Program with support from the New York State Legislature and Governor Andrew Cuomo and administered by the Tri-County Arts Council. Rolling Hills Radio is underwritten in part by the Jamestown Gazette, the hometown newspaper with good news.
Thank you, Julius Isla Hanley, and welcome to Rolling Hills Radio, brought to you from Shawbucks, the club concert entertainment venue nestled in the entertainment district of the city of Jamestown on the shores of beautiful Chautauqua Lake. On Rolling Hills, you'll hear grassroots Americana music from a wide range of genres. This episode, we're featuring two wonderful singer-songwriters. First up is a woman based in one of the most influential and prolific music cities in the country, Detroit. And even among the cornucopia of great artists in town, she stands out. She has a boatload of awards. She's well over 40 at one count, at the last count. She began her professional career a dozen albums ago as a young backup singer with Detroit country rock bands. In a few short years, she was writing her own songs, fronting her own band, and opening for acts like Bob Seger, Emmylou Harris, John Waite, Chris Isaak, Loretta Lynn. Now she's usually the headliner. Billboard magazine says this: Jill Jack has all the makings of a major talent. She's got the stage presence, the voice, the ability to interpret songs passionately. There's a lot of soul in what she does. She has a new album out called These Days. She's going to do a song from that right now. It's called Where Were You? Here she is with Where Were You? Please welcome Jill Jack to the Rolling Hills Radio stage.
Where were you when I was crying like a baby? Where were you? Oh, probably out with the ladies. Where were you when I was sad and all alone? Where were you? Nowhere to be found. Where were you when I lost my little mama? Where were you when I was wrecked with sorrow? Where were you when the night kept getting darker? Where were you? Nowhere to be found. I looked right. I looked left. I went searching through the night, trying not to fret. Then I saw you were nowhere to be found. Tell me, mister, why you roam all over town? Where were you when I bore our little baby? Where were you? Oh, probably out being shaded. Where were you when I needed you the most? Where were you? Nowhere to be found. Well, I searched high. I searched low. I wanted to try, but you always had to roam. Then I saw you were nowhere to be found. Tell me, mister, why you roam all over town? Where were you when I filed those divorce papers? Where were you? Oh, probably up to road capers. Where were you when the judge swung the gavel? Where were you? Nowhere to be found. Where were you? Nowhere to be found. Where were you? Nowhere to be found.
Jill Jack. So, Jill, you started off as a backup singer. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was funny because, well, I was a little kid. We used to sing all the time. You know, my family, my mom wanted us to be the Von Trapp family, but we all kind of beat each other up backstage, so that didn't work out very well. But I ended up singing a lot of, as a backup singer, and I would sing the note, and I was so shy that I would walk off the stage in between. And so finally the band's like, you gotta stay on stage. So, and then after a while, then I became the girl who was like, okay, I'm ready. And that's when I decided to go solo.
Yeah, you're not shy anymore. I can
No. Sorry.
How did you get over that? Was there a particular...
I think it was just like an aha moment. I think it was like, this feels really good. Why be shy?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And now you like it to attract attention to yourself.
Yeah, you and I both, right? We had this combination.
Yeah, we do. Jill and I talked about that earlier.
We have a lot in common. Yeah.
We like people looking at us.
We like attention. I was the middle kid. I was ignored, you know? So, yeah.
This is wonderful, isn't it? Let's just stand here and look at people.
Yeah, everybody look at us.
So, you're a songwriter, a wonderful songwriter, but you share that with people. You help people in songwriting workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that. How do you help people learn how to write songs?
Well, you know, some people come in. I actually did it right here in Jamestown a couple days ago, and you know, I think people come into the workshop thinking I'm going to do certain things, but really what I do is I start with the basics. We all could write a song. Everyone in this room could write a song. We all have what we need, and that's what the census is. All you need is your heart, your head, your pen, and your paper. And we all have anything to write about. I could write about your face. I could write about your eyes. I could write about my breath. There's always something. You just use your senses, and you use your emotions, and usually, you know, the craft of getting your verse, chorus, and all that comes later, but those are the basics you start with. So that's what I do at my workshops.
Okay, let me read a quote from the Detroit Free Press. Her voice can soar like opera and smoke like blues, one of the strongest in Detroit, or in the country for that matter.
Yeah.
From what we've heard just a minute ago, yeah, that's all true. But let me ask you this. Your voice is a very strong instrument. Do you use that? Do you think of your voice when you write songs?
That's a really good question. No, I don't.
Where does it come from? Do you have a particular modality?
I always say that my songs come from some portal. I heard one time that Bob Dylan said that you all have an antenna, and if a song comes to you, you better grab it, because if you don't, your neighbors will. So I don't. My neighbor's kind of mean, so I kind of want to make sure that I grab it and write it down. So I don't ever think about my voice and how that will work with it. I just let it flow. And then I go from there. Yeah, I have like this little portal, and I used to thank the corner of my living room, and my husband thought I was absolutely nuts. I'm like, thank you. I don't know. I just feel like it comes from somewhere else, and I just receive it. That's all.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you flow something through the portal for us right now?
Okay.
You have another song.
This song was portaled through Nashville. It started in Nashville, a little bit in Memphis, and finished off in Charlevoix, Michigan. And if you haven't been there, you should come visit, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jill Jack.
I wanna die laughing, wanna love till it hurts, wanna smile with the joy of a 2-year-old who feels all the love in the world. I wanna live without deadlines, wanna walk through a fire and not get burned. I wanna view the world like a painter, colors of life in a swirl. I wanna live, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow. I wanna race to the finish, wanna run to the out of breath. I wanna dance to a drummer that's always been playing in my head. I wanna kiss like the old movies, wanna stay in bed on a rainy day, wanna hear an old man crying when he's telling stories of yesterday. Wanna live, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow. You don't know when your number's up, so don't stop drinking from that cup. You gotta live big, love large, like you can't get enough, like you can't get enough. Oh no, like you can't get enough. Oh no. wanna hear my daughter's voice say, Mama, I love you so. I wanna feel the arms of a good, strong man who'd never let me go. I wanna cook a big breakfast, invite everyone I know. We'd sit and talk and laugh for a while and say, man, where'd the time go? I wanna live, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow. I gotta live, well, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow. No, no, no tomorrow. I wanna live, well, I gotta live like there's no tomorrow.
Jill Jack. Find out more about Jill at jilljack.com. What a beautiful voice, Jill. We'll come back to Jill at the second half of the show. Next, we have a New England-based artist who's been called socially conscious, thought-provoking, and surprisingly entertaining. He's recorded 5 CDs. I'm just quoting something I read, Martin. So. He's recorded 5 CDs, won local and national songwriting awards. He's a repeat performer at the Kerrville Folk Festival. He's won national singing awards, and I could tell you more about this guy's poetic take on life and his wry and loving observations and his way of putting words to music, but listen for yourself. Right here he is with our favorite song about vacuum cleaners, Little Plastic Part. Please welcome Martin Swinger to the Rolling Hills Radio stage.
Thank you very much. I like to tell true stories. This is one of those. I was cleaning, vacuuming the room, a carpet corner caught in the vacuum, burning rubber, cracking sound, the motor faltered. Investigation found I'd broken something fragile, shining, some little plastic part. The little plastic part that makes the whole thing work, designed by its creator to snap off with a jerk and leave the whole thing worthless. It's never gonna start. There is no replacement for that little plastic part. There's good news, bad news, your stuff can be repaired, but it'll cost more than it's worth to get inside of there. There's tabs and switches, buttons, belts and springs, and chintzy hinges infesting everything. Gear that doesn't ratch, the catch that doesn't catch it when it falls apart. The little plastic part that makes the whole thing work, designed by its creator to snap off with a jerk and leave the whole thing worthless. It's never gonna start, 'cause there is no replacement for that little plastic part. The little plastic part was once a dinosaur. Could be anything, it's just a metaphor, 'cause everything has got one part of the grand design. The straw that breaks the camel, and I've discovered mine. I wrote a letter. Did you get it? I told you I loved you. I don't regret it, but I didn't hear from you birthday or Valentine's. I'm a little slow. It took me a little time, but I finally got a clue what to expect from you. You didn't break my heart, just the little plastic part that makes the whole thing work, designed by its creator to snap off with a jerk and leave the whole thing worthless. It's never gonna start, 'cause there is no replacement for that little plastic part. That little plastic part. That little plastic part.
Martin Swinger. That was really something.
Thank
Great
you.
Song, great song.
Thank you.
Such unique topics. So you're the only guy I know who wrote a song about a vacuum cleaner. And turned
I
it
think
into
so far.
a beautiful metaphor indeed.
Thanks. So it's true what Jill said. There's inspiration in everything.
For example, oysters.
Oysters, yeah.
Betty Boop, Buddha, autism. I mean, you
Don't give it all away.
Okay, sorry. He's written songs about all of that stuff. So what do you see something and you say, oh, there's something I'm going to write about?
Yeah, I mean, really, songs hit me over the head. Sort of like Jill says, you just kind of walk into a situation, and that was easy enough. The vacuum cleaner broke right out from under me, and my brain just started spinning this story, and before you know, it's like, oh, there's a bigger story going on here. And just sort of followed that through. So yeah, I'm inspired by all kinds of things, and I have to write what I feel passionate about. So I just kind of follow my passion.
Okay, great. Following your passion is working out very well. But I have to say, that song was a great example of some poetic something. And
Something.
poetic something. You're really a poet.
I am a poet.
You are a
I'm a
poet.
poet. I was very lucky when I was in high school. I had a wonderful literature teacher who got me turned on to Carl Sandburg and Robert Frost and the modern American poets. And at the same time, I was studying Paul Simon, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Three Dog Night, and the Supremes, and all kinds of Harry Nilsson, all kinds of great writers, all when I was in high school. And I didn't realize I was studying songwriting and studying poetry at the same time. So that very much is where I come from.
And at one point, the lyrics and the music came together somehow.
Somewhere along the way, yeah. About when I was 12 years old, it started happening.
Is that right?
I wrote a lot of really terrible songs.
Okay, yeah. That's part of the process.
Well, that
right?
is part of the process. You got to start with what you know, and I didn't know very much, and that was very evident in my songwriting.
Okay. Do you still ever write terrible songs?
Sure.
Yeah.
I usually, though, before too long, I figure out this is a pretty terrible song.
You figure it out yourself.
And so I either put it away completely, or I say, that's an idea that I'm not ready to express yet, and so I set it aside and come back to it later when I've grown a little bit older and know a little bit more.
Okay. Do you ever write a song and you say to yourself, I'm not sure if this is good or not?
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
Yeah, once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just about every time. You know, you write a song and then, you sit by yourself all those hours working on songs, and it's just, it sounds great to me, and then I have to sing it in front of somebody else. And that's when the knees start shaking and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But I've been very lucky and very fortunate to have a lot of really good friends who are really good at giving me critique. And that's where I learn, is with sitting with other songwriters.
That's so important. And the honesty, right? You need somebody to tell you when it's not so good.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I appreciate it when somebody is borderline cruel with me. Just
Absolutely.
tell me the truth. If that doesn't work, I need to know. I won't necessarily take your advice, but I need to hear it.
Yeah, that applies to everything. Songs, casseroles, clothes,
That's right.
Tell me it's bad, please. Okay, what a wonderful stage presence you have.
Thank
Is
you.
that something that you learned, or did you just walk up?
No, I take these little pills every day. No, I was. I had the hardest time growing up with theory. I couldn't understand theory, and so I majored in theater instead. And theater, children's theater especially, taught me everything I needed to know to be on stage.
Oh, children's theater.
About working with kids. They will tell immediately whether you're making a connection or not. And so it was really great training for being a performer. Okay. So that's kind of how I learned my craft.
Yeah. Worked out really well, I think.
So far, I'm doing okay. Would you like fries with that?
And you gave that up for the security of the music business, right?
Indeed. Tens of dollars.
Speaking of which, Martin has a new album out called Living Things. Can we get a shot of that? It's called Living Things, and Martin's going to be doing a new song from that called My Mother's World. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Swinger.
This is my mother's world, a clock from Uncle John, a cluster of oyster shells, 3 ships that sail along, a crystal candy dish, a vase of corn shuck flowers, a pile of photo albums where we spent many hours. My mother's world is on a shelf, ceramic cardinals, photos of ourselves, a reader's digest of our lives, book end to end. My mother's world is alive. This is my mother's world. Her house is organized, a place for everything, magazines, socks, and knives. Her kitchen cabinets, a useful library of helpful tools and tape measures and family recipes. My mother's world has room enough to hold a clothing bank for folks whose times are tough, a helping hand, a listening ear, a place to rest until the sky is clear. This is my mother's world. Azaleas cloud the pines, garden of rocks and clay, daffodils and dandelions, the rhododendrons bloom, sweet jasmine on the breeze. She's in her garden now, in sweetest memories. My mother's world is all to me, the rocks and trees, the skies and seas, and in my ear all heavens ring. In deepest dark I hear the stars sing. In the rustling grass I hear her pass. She speaks to me everywhere. She speaks to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Martin Swinger.
Thank you.
Find out more about Martin at martinswinger.com. We have more music, conversation, and tales of who knows what coming up. We'll also do a good old sing-along classic in the second half of the show. So hang on for a minute. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley, episode 80. If you would like to be part of our live studio audience, log on to rollinghillsradio.org to get your ticket today, or call the Rolling Ticket Hotline at 716-294-0416. We'll be back after the break with more from Martin Swinger and Jill Jack. The second half of our show begins in just a minute. Rolling Hills Radio is brought to you in part by the Comfort Inn and the Jamestown Gazette. If you would like to be included on the Rolling Hills email distribution list, send your email address to ken@rollinghillsradio.org. To hear or view this episode and all past episodes of Rolling Hills Radio, log on to rollinghillsradio.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now, back to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley.
Thank you, Julia Cecil-Hanley. We have lots more to go here from Jamestown, New York. We're broadcasting right up the hill from the banks of the mighty Chattacoin River. We broadcast on non-commercial outlets all over the country. Welcome to our newest affiliate, WRAQ-FM 92.9 in Angelica, New York. Yeah. So welcome to all of you Angelicaites, or Angelicans, or Angelianders. So welcome. Anyway, right down Route 86 from Jamestown. So you people from Angelica, come here and see the show live. You'd like it. At any rate, Rolling Hills Radio is accessible to the public on community radio, local access cable, college radio stations, and other non-commercial outlets. We do not appear on mainstream radio or mainstream television, and that means that the show can be found in places not in the mainstream of mass media, so you will hear things that you've never imagined, esoteric facts, unusual viewpoints, stuff that can change your day. For example, I was listening to a community radio station the other day, and I discovered that men are 6 times more likely than women to be struck by lightning. That's true. That's true. So, I'll tell you what, why don't we have a song from Jill right now, and then if lightning hits the stage, the show can continue. How's that? Jill Jack's about to play another song. This is a song called Crooked Crown. Ladies and gentlemen, Jill Jack.
Thank you. And I'd love your help. It's super easy. And all you misfits, this is about being a misfit. So will you sing with me? Jamestown, hello? Phew, you scared me. It goes, la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. You got it already. Good job. She always wears her crown a little crooked. Though she's smart, she tends to play a little stupid. And instead of her heart, she wipes her nose on her sleeve. When it's time for her grand entrance, she'll be looking for the nearest exit. That girl needs to breathe. She likes to play in the puddles on the street. She'd rather talk to the birds than a real live person, 'cause she knows they won't break her heart. She sees more colors in a rainbow, more stars in the dark. Here we go. La 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 la. La 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 la. Thank you. La 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 la. He's the kind with the wire-rimmed glasses, always sat in the back of his classes. Well, he's as quiet as a mouse, but all he really wants to do is scream. Sees himself in a big old castle, on an island, no people, no hassle, where he'd be king. Spend his day reading books by a stream. He'd rather talk to the birds than a real live person, 'cause he knows they won't break his heart. He sees more colors in a rainbow, more stars in the dark. We all march to a different drummer, but our hearts still beat the same. It's not too cool to judge book by its cover, 'cause it only brings us shame. He finds a girl who plays a little stupid. Though she loves, she don't believe in Cupid, but he wins her heart. They float away alone on a stream. They'd rather talk to the birds than a real live person, 'cause they know they won't break their hearts. They paint more colors in a rainbow and shoot for the stars. Everybody. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Jill Jack. multi-dimensional artist. You're also working with Emmy winner Keith Famey on the life of an independent artist. Tell us about that.
Well, Keith contacted me. He's done a lot of documentaries for PBS. And he originally contacted me and said, I've got, this documentary, that documentary. Do you have some material? And so basically, I think I've provided him with soundtracks for 5 of his documentaries. And then he started following me around, and I became the documentary. I was like, ooh. And so I don't know, he kind of keeps moving on to other people. So eventually, I think he's waiting for funding is what's going on there. But yeah, so it could be about my life, hopefully before I leave this planet,
Yeah. Funding is always a thing in this business.
Yeah, isn't it?
Well, give us a little preview. What is the life of an independent artist?
Well, if you're not an independent artist, you'll think we're crazy, like my husband. But an independent artist, I think there's good things and bad things about it. I've signed record deals. I've had big managers. I think if you just stay focused, it's all about perseverance. I mean, no one's going to be your number one cheerleader but yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to believe in yourself even when you don't believe in yourself. Yeah. And I know that if I don't do this, I don't feel like I'm alive. So I just have to do it.
And your experience is deep and broad. You've been doing this for some time now. Let me ask you this. Having hung around people like Bob Seeger and Emmy Harris and all of those things that you've done, played in God knows how many venues, is there a performance or a venue or an experience that stands out to you as an independent artist?
Well, I think that there were 2. I mean, one was, yes, opening for Bob Seeger in the biggest venue in Michigan, which is called the Palace of Auburn Hills, and it's a 20,000-seater. And everyone asked me if I was nervous and scared, and I said, heck no, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. Let's get to it. But the problem is at the show, they only let me sell 1 CD. So they put 1 CD next to Bob's T-shirts, CDs, and everything. So I had 20,000 people, I sold 1 CD. 1. My husband was like, he just like turned white. The next night we drove to Indiana for a house concert, and there was 20 people there. And we sold $700 worth of merchandise. That's the life of an independent artist. Yes. Roll with it, people.
Yep. Like Martin says, tens and tens of dollars to be
tens of dollars, Martin.
Yeah. You have another song for us, don't you, Jill?
I do, and I'm really nervous about it. I had these wonderful people, Jim and Eileen, who put me up in this gorgeous home today, last night and the night before. It's just magical, and or maybe it was just last night. I don't know. It's all a blur. I woke up, and I saw the snow melting, and this is how songs happen to me. Martin, we were talking about it, and this song just flew through me, and I'm like, Jill, no, I know what you're thinking. You're going to want to perform it tonight. No. But I want to give this to you. And the reason I want to give this to you is it's called Jamestown Town. And I have never been in a city that people have been so kind. And so I just want to thank you. If I screw it up, you won't know anyway. And so I'll do my best. But please, everyone, there's been so much great energy here. Just keep sending it till I'm done with this song, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, with a brand new song, Jill Jack.
Snow is melting off the trees in this Jamestown town. People getting ready for the holiday. I'm just a stranger roaming through this Jamestown town. But they treat me like I'm here to stay. Where everybody knows your name and everybody shared your pain, and it's placed on my soul hope that will remain. When the kindness of strangers give new meaning through the big old word of empathy. I guarantee this will stay with me in Jamestown town. Boarded up buildings in this Jamestown town, with twinkling lights to hide the pain. I walk the night streets of this Jamestown town, feeling the cold till it's winter strain, where there's a hand to hold in the prayer that has been told, in the long dark road to carry me through the night. And poor lost souls just like me, surrounded by a family with stories making me feel I've been here all my life in Jamestown town. Just when I was about to give up on mankind, the kindness of strangers have changed my mind. Time to pack up my bags and leave this Jamestown town. I'll know I'll never be the same. Maybe the first, not last in this Jamestown town. Hey, now I know everybody's name, because I'm different than I was before, and this old town changed the score of what I thought this poor world was coming to. And as I move on down the road in this next old town I call my home, I'll be thinking how my dusty soul feels shiny and new, thanks to Jamestown town. Thanks to Jamestown town.
Jill Jack. Jamestown town. Very beautiful. Thank you, Jill. Well, it looks like Martin's ready to do another song. Is that true, Martin?
Sure, I could be.
Okay, let's make that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Swinger.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just by way of introduction, I've had the great honor of meeting Pete Seeger a few times in my life. And not too long ago, Pete Seeger pulled up a chair beside me and said, "I'd like to sing you a song." Well, you don't say no to Pete Seeger. Pete sang me this beautiful little song, and then I woke up. The song was so clear in my head, honestly, I went downstairs at 6 o'clock in the morning and wrote it down exactly like this. I consider it a co-write. Well, I went to the river, I thought I'd cross, Curl was crazy, I was at a loss, so I sat down under a willow tree, cried and worried, poor me, but that didn't get me any old thing. I changed the tune, started to sing about you. It's a sing-along. You. I sang that song with a heart so true, the river sang with me, all about you. So I got a piece of paper, folded a boat, tested the water, see if she'd float. She floated fine. Next thing I knew, I wrote my name and I wrote yours too. Put us on the water and away we went. That's how the rest of life was spent with you. Bump on the rapids, soak our shoes, rushing down, learn a thing or two about you. So we flushed to the ocean, everything due. The waves crash high, we spill through, scrape our knees on the sandy shore. The waves keep crashing, but there's always more. That's what happens when light breaks through, tumbling down, up and around about you. Boat goes down, sink or swim, crawl to the shore all over again with you. So we're walking ashore, hand in hand, birds in the sky, feet in the sand, splash of the water to cool our toes. The dog chase bubbles and away she goes. It's only a postcard in my mind, the prettiest picture I can find of you. Smile for the camera the way you do in a day so bright, sky so blue around you. Smile for the camera the way you do in a day so bright, a sky so blue around you. Thank you, Pete.
Martin Swinger.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Well, Martin, I'm kind of looking at you as a triple threat. You are a fine guitar player. Your voice is absolutely beautiful, a great singer, and an incredible songwriter. Those three things going for you.
I'm honored. I appreciate that.
But if we're talking about three things now, Kansas Poet Laureate Emeritus Karen Miriam Goldberg said three things. You represent humor, tenderness, and a wild mind.
That would be me.
Yeah, that would be. Do you have to have a wild mind to be a poet?
No, you don't have to have a wild man to be a poet, but to write weird songs like I do, you have to.
Okay, yeah. You said it first. I was going to say, okay. You grew up with music. You have a musical
I grew up
family.
on music. I was very lucky to, my grandmother and my aunt were both music teachers, and I was the baby of the family. So my dad played swing and jazz music on the radio. My older sister brought in Carmen and classical music, and Peter, Paul, and Mary and the Kingston Trio. My older brother brought in Three Dog Night, Inagata Davida, Paul Simon and Garfunkel. My brother-in-law brought in Harry Nilsson, a bunch of other things like that. And then I just kind of followed my own sources around as well. And all those things kind of turned into a tossed salad in my head.
Okay, you absorbed it all, and
I absorbed it all.
Look what happened.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still listening to music, all kinds of music. I love music from all over the world, and anywhere, any kind of music. I find music in soda pop machines. It's embarrassing. Anything, if it makes a sound, I'm ready to sing with it. It's fun.
Well, why don't you sing one for us right now?
I got one more song for you
all
here.
Right, great. Martin Swinger.
As I said before, thank you. Thanks very much. As I said at the beginning, I like to tell true stories. This is one of those. Providence has brought two souls together. For karma, it was certainly a coup. He fell in love the moment that he met her. So Buddha started dating Betty Boop. Betty Boop and Buddha driving in a car, stopping at the farmer's market. Buddha riding shotgun, Betty at the wheel, singing boop to boop and looking for a place to park it. Betty Boop and Buddha are weaving down the aisle. Betty Boop is shopping, Buddha humming. Betty buys a bagel, Buddha eyes a beer. Betty tells him, you can't put that pack right here, boop boop to do. But before you do, I've got a jug of wine, bread and cheese for two. Buddha smiles at Betty, Betty smiles at Buddha too. Buddha, he's just humming, 'cause he hopes Nirvana's coming. Boo-doo. Ship-a-dip-a-dop, boy, wap-a-da-doo-day-ya. Ribbidi-boy-ba-shuba, let-be-ba-doy, ra-ba-ba, ruba-bidi-bip-rip-ba-ba-ra-ba. Betty Boop and Buddha are playing at the dance. Buddha on the bass is just a swinging. Betty on a squeeze box, pumping out a tune, singing bop bop ba bop, don't mean maybe. Oh Buddha, won't you be my baby? Ooh. And Betty sways her knees, fingers flying, feet and toes are flapping. Betty plays a polka like a beehive full of bees, and Buddha's fingers snapping, 'cause he's sure Nirvana's bound to happen. Ooh. Betty Boop and Buddha decide they want to dance. The existential band keeps right on playing. Betty, Buddha whispers, my dear, you dance divine. And Betty starts to bubble. Buddha dips her double time. And Betty rolls her eyes. Buddha, I believe I'm feeling butterflies. Buddha's heart is thumping. Om Buddha, 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 Om Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Betty's heart is bumping. Betty Boom Buddha, Betty Boom Buddha. No matter what she say now, Nirvana's on its way now. Betty Boom Buddha, Buddha Boom Betty, Betty Boom Buddha, Betty Boom, Boop, Boop, Ba-doop.
Martin Swinger. All right, well, all right. I don't know what to say. Well, I'll just tell you what Henry David Thoreau said. Henry David Thoreau said, only the day dawns to which we are awake. And our emotions, thoughts, worries, regrets, bliss, and joys, they're here every minute, all the time, but often we forget to be here with them. So songwriters like Jill Jack remind us of our internal life and let us know we're not alone in our suffering or our happiness. Songwriters like Martin Swinger remind us of what's going on around us and how, if we see with clear eyes and an open heart, the beauty, idiosyncrasy, and humor is everywhere all the time. We just have to notice. So open your eyes and heart and live every moment. Music can help you do that. Like this song that the three of us are going to do together. It's been done by Mississippi John Hurt, by Lawrence Welk, by Gene Autry, Nat King Cole, Johnny Cash, Carly Simon, and every third grader that ever went to public school. So most people forget that it's profoundly sad. We're going to show you now, You Are My Sunshine. You know it. Please sing with us.
The other night, dear, while I was sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only do
skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Tu es mon soleil, tu es mon soleil, tu es le monde merveilleux. Mais non t'es toujours, mais non t'es toujours, mon petit chouchou, chouchou.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Thank you very much. I'm Ken Hardley. We'll see you next time on Rolling Hills Radio.
You've been listening to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley, episode 80. Special thanks to Jill Jack and Martin Swinger. The Rolling Hills Radio cast and crew are Director, Crazy Eddie Tomasini, Assistant Director and Attendance Monitor, Diamond Dick Gould, Stage Manager and Math Facts, Brianne Fadal, Voice of Reason, Tom Fadal, Merch and Hydration, Nicole Chappell and Susan George, Audio, Steve, What Happens If I Pull This Switch, Chappell, Administrative Director and Metaphysics, Jim Goodling, and Assistant Producer and Babysitting, Kathy Harley. I'm Julia Cecil Hanley, and I voted. Please join us next time on Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley.